tell me about you're waiting for something at your school.
I really want to go to Juilliard.
Okay.
When a 17-year-old blind singer from Indonesia walked onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2023, nobody could have predicted the emotional whirlwind that was about to unfold. What happened next left Simon Cowell speechless, brought millions to tears, and sparked a global phenomenon that would change one young woman's life forever. But what really happened to Putri Ariani after that magical summer? The answer will absolutely shock you. In the latest season of America's Got Talent, Putri Ariani emerged as an undeniable force, a magnetic presence, whose voice seemed to transcend the very boundaries of human emotion. This young woman from Yogyakarta, Indonesia, faced skepticism, doubt, and the weight of representing millions of people with disabilities around the world. Her journey from that first breathtaking audition to where she stands today is nothing short of extraordinary. Born prematurely and diagnosed with retinopathy that left her blind from birth, Putri refused to let her disability define her dreams. She lives by a powerful motto that would echo throughout her entire act experience: we are able, we are capable, we are equal. Join us as we tell you what really happened to Putri Ariani from America's Got Talent. The atmosphere inside the act audition room crackles with anticipation as a slender teenage girl makes her way to center stage, guided gently by her father. Putri Ariani moves with quiet confidence, her hand gliding along the piano as she finds her position. The judges lean forward in their seats. Simon Cowell, notorious for his brutally honest critiques, watches with his characteristic skeptical expression. Sofia Vergara smiles warmly, while Howie Mandel and Heidi Klum exchange curious glances. Host Terry Crews announces her name, and the crowd erupts in supportive applause. When Sophia asks how long she's been singing, Putri's response draws laughter and immediately endears her to everyone in the room. "Maybe since I was born," she says with a genuine giggle that lights up her entire face. The 17-year-old explains that she's currently in high school, but dreams of attending the prestigious Juilliard College of Music. Then she adds something that makes the judges sit up even straighter. "I hope to win act, so I can reach my dream." Her fingers find the keys, and suddenly the entire theater falls into a hushed silence. Putri begins to play an original composition titled Loneliness, and from the very first note, something magical happens. Her voice rises, pure and crystalline, carrying lyrics that seem to pour directly from her soul. "You break my heart, break my hope," she sings, her vocal control absolutely mesmerizing. The audience members grip their seats, some already reaching for tissues. Her voice builds and soars, hitting notes that seem impossible for someone so young. Judge after judge visibly reacts, their expressions shifting from curiosity to absolute astonishment. When the final note fades into silence, the entire room explodes, but before anyone can fully process what just happened, Simon Cowell does something unprecedented. He stands up and walks directly onto the stage. The crowd gasps as Simon approaches Putri, still seated at her piano bench. "Hi, Putri, this is Simon," he says gently, leaning close so she can hear him. Putri's father, watching from the wings with tears streaming down his face, hurries onto the stage to assist his daughter. Simon tells him his daughter's voice is amazing and makes an unusual request. He wants to hear another song. The audience erupts in excitement. Putri, still processing the moment, nods eagerly and announces that her second song will be special, dedicated to Simon himself. She launches into Elton John's "Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word," and her first performance was stunning, this one is absolutely transcendent. Her voice wraps around every lyric with such emotion, such raw vulnerability, that grown men in the audience openly weep. Simon returns to his judge's chair, but his expression has completely transformed. Gone is the skeptical judge. In his place sits a man utterly captivated, visibly moved by what he's witnessing. When Putri finishes her second song, all four judges leap to their feet instantly. The standing ovation is deafening, thunderous applause mixing with cheers and emotional shouts of support. Sofia Vergara is the first to speak, her voice thick with emotion. "It was amazing. We're all mesmerized by you. Your voice, You are an angel. Howie Mandel enthusiastically agrees, nodding vigorously as the crowd continues to roar its approval. Heidi Klum commends Putri's beautiful voice before Simon takes his turn to speak. Well, I think we're all feeling the same thing. He begins, his usually commanding voice softer than anyone has ever heard it. You know, you're 17. You write songs. You've got an amazing, distinctive voice. And I mean really, really good. You have kind of a glow about you. Then he asks about her Juilliard dreams. And Putri's hopeful response touches every heart in the room. What happens next becomes one of the most iconic moments in America's Got Talent history. Simon Cowell, the judge who rarely shows sentiment, reaches over and slams his hand down on the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rains from the ceiling like a glittering waterfall as Putri jumps up and down in disbelief, her hands covering her face. Her parents rush onto the stage, embracing their daughter as she sobs with joy. Terry Crews runs out to join the celebration. And then Simon himself returns to the stage for a second time. He wraps Putri in a genuine hug and tells her something she'll never forget. You are, I think, one of the best singers we've ever had on our show. The moment goes viral instantly, trending in over 30 countries and racking up millions of views within hours. Social media explodes with reactions. Twitter users proclaim they've never cried harder watching act. Instagram comments flood, in calling her performance heavenly and life-changing. But the journey was far from over, and nobody knew just how challenging the road ahead would become. While Putri basked in the glow of her golden buzzer moment, not everyone shared in the celebration. As her audition video spread across the globe, critics emerged from the shadows, questioning whether her success was genuine or orchestrated. Some viewers pointed out that Putri had already won Indonesia's Got Talent back in 2014 at just 8 years old, suggesting she was too experienced to compete. Comments flooded online forums accusing the show of manipulation, claiming her emotional backstory was being exploited for ratings. She's already a professional, some wrote. This isn't fair to real amateurs. The criticism stung, but Putri had faced doubt her entire life. Being born blind in a world that often equates disability with inability meant she'd spent 17 years proving people wrong. What most critics didn't understand was the journey Putri had endured to reach that act stage. After winning Indonesia's Got Talent as a child, she hadn't become an overnight superstar. She'd competed on The Voice Kids Indonesia and been eliminated. She'd faced rejection after rejection, continuing to write songs and practice piano for hours every single day in her family's modest home in Yogyakarta. Financial struggles meant her family had to carefully budget every expense related to her musical education. There were nights when Putri questioned whether she should give up on her international dreams and focus on more practical pursuits. Her parents watched their daughter struggle with the weight of representing not just herself, but millions of people with disabilities who saw themselves in her story. The pressure was immense, suffocating at times. My biggest challenge is people look at me just as a blind person, not that I'm a musician, she revealed in an interview, her voice carrying the pain of years of being underestimated. But Putri Ariani possessed something critics couldn't touch, an unshakable determination to prove that talent knows no boundaries. She stayed focused on her music, on her message, on her mission to inspire others who faced similar challenges. Every hateful comment became fuel for her fire. Every doubt became motivation to work harder. Her family rallied around her, reminding her why she'd taken this enormous leap to travel halfway across the world to America. She wasn't doing this for fame or validation. She was doing it to show the world that disabilities are just illusion, that what truly matters isn't what you can see, but what you can feel. As she prepared for the live shows, Putri held tight to her belief that her voice would speak louder than any criticism ever could. It was during the semifinals that Putri Ariani truly silenced every single critic who had doubted her journey. Walking onto that live show stage, she carried the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders. Indonesia watched with bated breath as their hometown hero prepared to perform U2's iconic anthem, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. What made this performance even more remarkable was the backstory behind the song choice. U2, a band notoriously protective of their music, had personally watched Putri's audition and made a special exception to clear this song specifically for her. They understood something the critics didn't. They were witnessing something truly special. As the opening notes fill the theater, Putri's fingers dance across the piano keys with mesmerizing precision. Her voice begins soft, almost conversational, drawing every single person in the audience into her world. Then she starts to build. Her vocal control, showcasing runs and riffs that leave vocal coaches speechless. When she hits the chorus, her voice explodes with power, an emotion that sends chills racing down every spine in the room. Audience members leap to their feet, phones raised high to capture this historic moment. Some are crying openly, tears streaming down their faces as they witness something they'll talk about for years to come. Her voice soars to heights that seem impossible, each note perfectly placed, each phrase dripping with genuine feeling. She isn't just singing the lyrics, she's living them, breathing them, making everyone understand the profound searching and longing embedded in every word. The judges' reactions tell the complete story of her triumph. Simon Cowell stands frozen, his mouth literally hanging open in shock. When the final note fades and the standing ovation begins, he remains motionless for several seconds, visibly struggling to compose himself. "I'm actually kind of speechless right now," he finally admits, his voice cracking with emotion. "What I was thinking was, first of all, what a beautiful voice you've got. What a beautiful version. Honestly, Putri, this is why I still do this job for moments like this. Genuinely. That was so beautiful." He thanks U2 for clearing the song because they recognized how much it would mean to her. Understanding the magnitude of what they just witnessed, Sofia Vergara is equally overwhelmed, declaring that she doesn't think she's ever heard something more beautiful in her entire life. "That was spectacular, every note, the feeling, what you were making us feel. It was amazing. One of my favorite songs of all time. I think this was the perfect act," she gushes, her accent thick with emotion. Heidi Klum and Howie Mandel offer similarly effusive praise, all four judges standing together in unified appreciation of pure, undeniable talent. Social media erupts like a volcano. Twitter trends explode with hashtags celebrating Putri's performance. Instagram comments flood in by the thousands, with users proclaiming it the best performance of the entire season. Music industry professionals weigh in, noting her incredible vocal technique and emotional maturity. Fans predict she'll not only make it to the finals, but potentially win the entire competition. The performance video racks up millions of views within hours, and suddenly the critics fall silent. How can anyone question this level of artistry? How can anyone claim this isn't genuine when the entire world just witnessed something so breathtakingly real? Putri advances to the finals, and the dream she'd held since childhood, watching act from her home in Indonesia, inches closer to reality. The finale arrives with all the spectacle and emotion that America's Got Talent is known for. 11 exceptional acts stand ready to compete for the ultimate prize. But all eyes remain fixed on the young woman from Indonesia who had captured hearts around the globe. For her final performance, Putri returns to the artist who had been so significant in her act journey, Elton John. She chooses "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," a song that allows her to showcase everything she's learned, every ounce of growth she's experienced throughout the competition. This time, she's backed by a full gospel choir, adding layers of richness to her already stunning vocals. As she begins to sing, something transcendent happens. Putri delivers a performance so powerful, so emotionally devastating, that the entire theater seems to hold its collective breath. Her voice climbs to impossible heights, hitting notes that send the choir members behind her into spontaneous reactions of awe. She riffs and runs through complex vocal passages with the ease of someone who's been singing not just since birth, as she jokingly claimed in her audition, but as if she was born specifically for this moment. The high notes she reaches are nothing short of spectacular, clean and pure and powerful. All four judges are on their feet before she even finishes, the standing ovation already beginning as she plays the final notes on her gleaming grand piano. Simon Cowell's words during the judges' comments capture what everyone is feeling. You are one of those rare little diamonds we come across every few years who is naturally born to do this. And you've overcome so much in your life to hopefully fulfill your dream on this show. And boy, after that, do you deserve it, he says, his voice thick with genuine admiration. Howie Mandel makes a bold statement that resonates with millions watching at home. I have no doubt in my mind, if this was just a singing competition, I think you just won it, hands down. But ACT isn't just a singing competition. It's a variety show celebrate all forms of talent, and that reality would soon become painfully clear. As an extra special moment, legendary British singer Leona Lewis, herself a winner of the X Factor, and a Simon Cowell protege, joins Putri on stage for a breathtaking duet of Snow Patrol's Run. The two voices blend in perfect harmony, creating a moment of pure musical magic that becomes one of the finale's most talked about performances.